Across the stars, through your speakers, it's the Intergalactic Insider. I'm Felix Andromeda, broadcasting from Proxima Centauri b. Whether you're tuning in from the Milky Way, Andromeda, or the Zephyr Nebula, we've got a stellar show for you today. First up, a word from our sponsor, Nebula Nanotech. Upgrade your neural implants with their quantum-shielded cerebral enhancers for a cosmic clarity like no other. On today's agenda, the intergalactic elections, a breakthrough in wormhole physics, the dark world of interstellar hacking, and a tragic living bomb incident on a starliner. Plus, a weather update from Comet Channing, our astro-meteorologist extraordinaire. Buckle up and brace for impact as the Intergalactic Insider takes you on a wild ride through the cosmos. Disclaimer: moon cheese cravings may occur. Welcome back, Space Cadets. It's time to strap on your political helmets and blast off into the wild, wacky world of exopolitics. The upcoming intergalactic elections have the galaxy in a tizzy, and we've got two out-of-this-world guests joining us today to navigate the cosmic craziness. Put your appendages together for renowned Zorpian political analyst Zira Stardust and acclaimed Neptunian xenosociologist Dr. Quartok. But before we dive in, let's take a quick trip down memory lane with our resident historian, Professor Cosmos. Professor, can you give us the skinny on these political parties?
Certainly, Felix. The Galactic Unity Party, or GUP as the cool kids call it, has been all about exploring the final frontier since the Great Nebula War. They're the ones who want to boldly go where no one has gone before, even if it means accidentally angering a few space amoebas along the way. On the other hand, the Progressive Nebula Alliance, or PNA, has been fighting for the little guy since the alien rights movement. They're like the intergalactic ACLU, making sure everyone gets a fair shake, no matter how many eyes or tentacles they have.
Thanks, Professor. Zira, with your extensive experience covering the Zorpian Quantum Parliament, what do you make of the GUP's focus on deep space exploration?
Well, Felix, as a Zorpian, I know firsthand how important it is to balance the thrill of discovery with the needs of your constituents. I once covered a story where a GUP candidate promised to personally lasso a comet for every voter, only to realize that most folks just wanted reliable quantum transit and affordable neo-algae snacks.
Dr. Quartok, your groundbreaking work on interspecies neural network integration has shed light on the challenges of alien inclusion. How do you think the PNA's platform addresses these issues?
It's a complex issue, Felix. As a Neptunian, I've seen how cultural misunderstandings can lead to some pretty awkward neural feedback loops. But the PNA's commitment to investing in cross-cultural education and neural diversity initiatives gives me hope. Plus, have you tried Zorganian cuisine? It's like a flavor supernova in your cerebral cortex.
Speaking of Zorgs, we've got a special guest with us today. Zorax, a Zorganian refugee who's faced some serious challenges trying to make a home in the Milky Way. Zorax, can you tell us a bit about your experience?
Absolutely, Felix. When I arrived on Earth, I was so excited to start my new life. But it wasn't easy being green and tentacled. I faced discrimination at every turn, from being denied quantum housing to having my neural implants hacked by xenophobic pranksters. But you know what kept me going? The knowledge that organizations like the PNA were fighting for folks like me. And also, the fact that I could totally crush it at karaoke with my telepathic powers.
Looks like we've got a subspace relay coming in from Zortax in the Betelgeuse system. Zortax asks, how will the rise of AI and neural implants impact the way candidates campaign in the future? Zira, what's your take on this?
It's a great question, Zortax, and one that I think will define the future of exopolitics. As AI becomes more advanced and neural implants become the norm, we might see candidates targeting voters directly through their cerebral cortex feeds. Imagine waking up to a personalized holographic message from your favorite politician floating right in front of your face. But with great technology comes great responsibility. candidates will need to be extra careful not to overload voters' neural networks with too much campaign spam. It's a brave new world out there, and the rules of the game are changing faster than a Zorganian can shapeshift.
That's a fascinating point, Zira. It makes me wonder, could we one day see an AI candidate running for office? Or perhaps a neural network hive mind as a political party? The possibilities are both exciting and terrifying.
It's not as far-fetched as you might think, Felix. In fact, I've heard whispers of a rogue AI collective that's been quietly influencing interstellar trade agreements for decades. If they ever decided to enter the political arena directly, it could upend the entire galactic order.
Wow, talk about a bombshell. Looks like we might have our first scoop for the next episode. Thank you, Zira, Dr. Quartok, Professor Cosmos, and Zorax for joining us on this intergalactic political roller coaster. And thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in. If you have any burning questions or hot takes on the future of exopolitics, be sure to send them our way via subspace relay or telepathic transmission. Next up, we'll be diving into some mind-bending wormhole physics that might just make your brain implode. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Space Cadets. It's time to put on your thinking caps and dive into the wild, wacky world of spaced-out sciences. Today, we're tackling the mind-bending claims of a breakthrough in wormhole physics by the mad scientists of Calypso 9. Joining us to untangle this cosmic spaghetti are the brilliant Dr. Zena Starbright, Queen of Quantum Physics, and the one and only Professor Zorp, the galaxy's most eccentric wormhole whisperer. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the Spacefarien in the wormhole. As many of you may recall from our thrilling episode 4, the daring interstellar explorer Spacefarien Sarah Smith vanished without a trace after venturing through a mysterious slipstream gate. If you missed that jaw-dropping installment, I highly recommend giving it a listen. Trust me, it's a wild ride. Now, Dr. Starbright, we all know that humans have been zipping through wormholes for years now, but the Calypso 9 team claims to have created a stable, traversable wormhole right in their lab. As the reigning queen of quantum physics, what's your take on this mind-boggling claim?
Well, Felix, I've seen my fair share of cosmic craziness, but I have to say, I'm a bit skeptical about Calypso 9's claims. I mean, sure, we've been using wormholes as cosmic shortcuts for a while now, but creating a stable one in a lab? That's like trying to tame a wild Zorganian space worm with a noodle.
A Zorganian space worm with a noodle. Now that's an image I won't soon forget. Professor Zorp, you're our resident wormhole whisperer. What are the wormholes telling you about this alleged breakthrough?
Oh, Felix, the wormholes are positively buzzing with excitement. They've been whispering in my ear about Calypso 9's shenanigans, and let me tell you, it's juicier than a Venusian gossip column. Why, just last night, a particularly chatty Lorentzian wormhole told me that—
Hold your horses, Professor. We've got an incoming subspace transmission from a listener on Betelgeuse 14. Dear Felix, as someone who's been using wormholes to commute to work for years, I'm curious. How will Calypso 9's breakthrough affect my daily grind? Will I finally be able to hit the snooze button a few more times? Dr. Starbright, what do you think?
Well, that's the dream, isn't it? Imagine being able to sleep in and still make it to your 9 a.m. meeting on the other side of the galaxy. But in all seriousness, if Calypso 9's claims are true, it could be a game changer. Stable wormholes could mean faster, safer, and more efficient travel, not to mention a whole new level of cosmic carpool karaoke.
Cosmic carpool karaoke? Count me in. Professor Zorp, as a seasoned wormhole traveler, what's the craziest thing you've seen during your cosmic commutes?
Felix, you wouldn't believe the things I've witnessed in the depths of those cosmic tunnels. Wormholes leading to alternate realities where everyone speaks in rhyme. Temporal loops that make you relive the same day over and over again. And even a cosmic disco where the stars never stop grooving. But let me tell you, wormhole commuting isn't all fun and games. There's a certain etiquette to follow, lest you anger the mighty wormhole gods.
Wormhole etiquette. Do tell, Professor.
First and foremost, always thank your wormhole after every journey. A simple, much-obliged, oh great cosmic portal goes a long way in maintaining good wormhole karma. And never ever try to cut in line at a wormhole entrance. Trust me, you don't want to face the wrath of a disgruntled space trucker with a plasma cannon.
And let's not forget the importance of proper wormhole maintenance. Regular exotic matter flushes and space-time continuum alignments are crucial to keeping our cosmic highways running smoothly. The last thing you want is to get stuck in a wormhole traffic jam with a bunch of cranky Zorgs.
Ha 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 ha! Duly noted, Dr. Starbright. I definitely don't want to be caught in a wormhole gridlock with a bunch of grumpy Zorgs. Speaking of wormholes, we have a breaking news update. The Intergalactic Scientific Council has just released a statement on Calypso 9's claims, and it looks like they're demanding a full review of the team's research before any official confirmation can be made. Looks like the scientific community isn't quite ready to jump on the stable wormhole bandwagon just yet.
As they should, Felix. While the idea of a stable, traversable wormhole is undoubtedly exciting, we need to make sure that Calypso 9 isn't just blowing cosmic smoke. The safety and stability of our interstellar highway system is too important to leave to chance.
But the wormholes, Felix, they whisper of great change on the horizon. Whether Calypso 9 has truly unlocked the secrets of the cosmos or not, one thing is certain. The universe as we know it is about to get a whole lot weirder.
Well, there you have it, folks. The future of wormhole travel is as unpredictable as a Venusian weather forecast. Will Calypso 9's claims revolutionize our cosmic commutes, or will it be just another case of scientific shenanigans? Only time and the wormholes will tell. A huge thanks to Dr. Starbright, Professor Zorp, and our inquisitive listener for joining us on this wild ride through the cosmos. And now we want to hear from you, our beloved space cadets. Have you ever had a wild, wacky, or downright bizarre experience while traveling through a wormhole? Maybe you've encountered a cosmic traffic jam, a temporal loop, or even a wormhole that led you to a parallel universe filled with talking space cucumbers. Whatever your story, we want to hear it. Share your tales of cosmic craziness with us via subspace relay, quantum email, or even old-fashioned smoke signals. Just make sure you use non-toxic smoke, as we don't want to anger the wormhole gods. Who knows, your story might just be featured in a future segment of Intergalactic Insider. And speaking of segments, I've got a little wormhole-themed joke to help you navigate the cosmic currents with a smile on your face. Are you ready? Here goes. Why did the wormhole cross the universe? To get to the other side, of course. Ha ha ha! I know, that one's older than the Andromeda Galaxy. But hey, it's a classic for a reason. And remember, space cadets, always thank your wormhole and never cut in line at a cosmic portal. Stick around for our next segment, where we'll be diving into the dark and dangerous world of interstellar hacking. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Oh, and one more thing. If you do happen to find yourself in a wormhole jam, just remember, it's all relative. Get it? Relative? Like Einstein's theory of relativity? Ah, never mind. I'll stick to hosting and leave the science jokes to the professionals. Don't go anywhere, space cadets. We'll be right back with more cosmic craziness on Intergalactic Insider.
Attention all space adventurers and thrill seekers. Are you tired of the same old boring vacation destinations like the Martian beaches or the Venusian hot springs? Well, buckle up and get ready for the trip of a lifetime with Zargon's Extreme Excursions. I thought I had seen it all until I booked a trip with Zargon's. Our first stop was the lava fields of Moltor, where we went surfing on waves of molten rock while dodging flying fireballs. Next, we visited the acid swamps of Glopsor, where we went swimming in a pool of bubbling neon green goo that left our skin tingling and glowing for weeks. But the real highlight of the trip was the meteor maze of Krypton. Zargon's provided us with jetpacks and laser guns, and we spent hours flying through a labyrinth of spinning asteroids and dodging giant space worms. And don't worry about safety. Zargon's has a team of highly trained medical robots on standby, ready to patch up any missing limbs or extra eyes that may occur during your adventure. So why settle for a boring, ordinary vacation when you can have an extreme, unforgettable experience with Zargon's Extreme Excursions? Book your trip now and get ready to have the time of your life, or possibly your last.
Welcome back, Space Cadets, to the Intergalactic Insider. In our last segment, we ventured into the mind-bending realm of wormhole physics. But now it's time to explore a darker, more sinister corner of the cosmos, the shadowy underworld of interstellar hacking. In a galaxy where our lives are more intertwined with technology than a Gordian knot, the specter of cyber attacks looms larger than a xenomorphian's appetite. And when those attacks come from the depths of space, the consequences can be more catastrophic than a Vogon poetry reading. Joining us to navigate this treacherous terrain are two of the galaxy's most renowned experts on interstellar cybercrime. Detective Zara Quark of the Galactic Cyber Police and the infamous reformed hacker known only as Shadowbite. Welcome to the show, you two.
Greetings, Felix. It is imperative that we raise awareness about the escalating threat of interstellar hacking and its detrimental impact on our society.
Hey there, Felix. Great to be here, even if I feel like a Wookiee at a Stormtrooper convention.
I bet. Now, Detective Quark, give us the lowdown on the current state of interstellar hacking. Just how serious are we talking here?
The situation is more dire than a Klingon with a toothache, Felix. In the past solar year alone, we've seen a surge in cyber attacks that would make a Borg cube look like a Tamagotchi. From the hijacking of sentient AI systems to the sabotage of matter-antimatter reactors, these hackers are as relentless as a Terminator with a grudge.
Yikes! That's enough to make a Vulcan's ears droop. Shadowbite, as a former hacker yourself, what drives these interstellar cybercriminals to wreak such havoc?
Well, Felix, some are in it for the credits, others for the chaos. But there's also the thrill of the hack, the rush of infiltrating a system more secure than a Batcave and leaving your mark like a cosmic graffiti artist. It's like playing 4D chess against a grandmaster while juggling quantum singularities.
Sounds like a real adrenaline rush, but the fallout can be devastating. Detective Quark, what are some of the most notorious interstellar hacks in recent memory?
One that stands out is the Andromeda strain hack of 2587. A group of cybercriminals infiltrated the neurological networks of a major space station, causing the inhabitants to break out in spontaneous disco fever. The sight of thousands of space travelers grooving uncontrollably to stay alive is seared into my memory banks.
That's equal parts hilarious and horrifying, Detective. Shadowbite, how do these hackers pull off such audacious attacks?
It's all about finding the weak spots, Felix. Whether it's an outdated firewall or a gullible Gungan, hackers are masters at exploiting vulnerabilities. And with the vast distances of space, it's easier to stay ahead of the law than a Millennium Falcon in hyperdrive.
That's a scary thought. Detective Quark, what can we do to protect ourselves from these interstellar cyber threats?
It's a multi-pronged approach, Felix. We need to develop more secure systems. Think quantum encryption, bioneural firewalls, and AI-powered intrusion detection. But we also need to educate folks about the dangers of interstellar hacking. Remember, if a message from an unknown alien prince promises you 1,000,000 credits and a date with a Deltan, it's probably too good to be true.
Absolutely. And don't even get me started on the importance of regularly updating your neuro implants. You don't want to be caught with a vulnerable chipset when a hacker comes knocking.
Those are some stellar tips, Detective Quark and Shadowbite. But before we wrap up, I'm curious. In your line of work, you must have come across some pretty ridiculous security vulnerabilities. What are some of the most outrageous ones you've encountered?
Picture this, Felix. A maximum security space prison, housing the galaxy's most notorious criminals. The warden, a 7-foot-tall Zoraxian with biceps the size of asteroid melons, was convinced his state-of-the-art AI system was impenetrable. But when we got the call about a security breach, we knew something was up. As we raced through the labyrinthine corridors of the prison, alarms blaring and lights flashing, we discovered the shocking truth. The AI's biometric authentication system had been calibrated to recognize the warden's pet xenomorph. All a prisoner had to do was hold up a hollow image of the creature, and the doors would open like a Venusian flytrap.
That's nothing, Detective. Let me tell you about the time I infiltrated the vaults of the Intergalactic Reserve Bank. The air was thick with the hum of servers and the weight of trillions of credits. Armed with nothing but my trusty sonic screwdriver and a sack of genetically modified tribbles, I set to work. The bank's security drones swarmed around me like angry hornets, their blasters whining with deadly intent. But as I released the tribbles into the ventilation system, the drones began to twitch and spark, their circuits overloaded by the flood of fur. In the chaos, I slipped into the mainframe, my fingers flying across the holographic keyboards as I drained the accounts of the galaxy's wealthiest tycoons. It wasn't until later that I discovered the bank's fatal flaw. Their security system was allergic to tribble dander.
I'm torn between applauding your ingenuity and calling the space cops Shadowbite. These vulnerabilities are the stuff of legend.
And those are just the tip of the iceberg, Felix. My team once spent months tracking a hacker who was wreaking havoc on planetary defense systems across the quadrant. We chased them through seedy spaceports and across the event horizons of black holes, always one step behind. But when we finally caught up to them on a remote space station, we discovered the hacker's secret weapon, a genetically engineered telepathic goldfish. The hacker had been using the fish to read the minds of high-ranking officials, stealing their access codes and leaving a trail of chaos in their wake.
I remember hearing about that one on the dark web. The look on the Admiral's face when you told him his entire fleet had been compromised by a fish. I would have paid good credits to see that.
These stories are the stuff of legend. Thrilling, terrifying, and more than a little absurd. It's like something out of a pulp sci-fi novel.
But that's the thing, Felix. In the world of interstellar hacking, the truth is often stranger than fiction. No matter how advanced our technology gets, there will always be weak points, vulnerabilities waiting to be exploited. And it's up to us, the white hats and the black hats, the cops and the robbers, to stay one step ahead of the game.
And what a game it is, Detective. A cosmic dance of wits and bites played out across the stars themselves. The stakes couldn't be higher. The fate of whole worlds, of entire civilizations, hanging in the balance.
It's a sobering thought, Shadowbite, but it's also a reminder of how crucial it is that we work together, hackers, lawmen, and citizens alike, to keep our corner of the universe safe from those who would do us harm. Stay vigilant, stay secure, and always update your biometric authenticators. You never know when a rogue xenomorph might try to infiltrate your systems. And with that, Space Cadets, we'll have to leave the thrilling world of interstellar hacking behind. For now. Once again, a huge thank you to Detective Zara Quark and Shadowbite for sharing their incredible stories and insights with us today. When we return, we'll be delving into the terrifying tale of a living bomb organism smuggled onto a starliner, a story guaranteed to send shivers down your spacesuit. Welcome back, Space Cadets, to this heart-wrenching edition of the Intergalactic Insider. In our last segment, we explored the shadowy world of interstellar hacking. But now we turn our attention to a tragedy that has sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy: the devastating living bomb organism attack on the starliner Celestial Serenity. Joining us to unravel the twisted strands of this cosmic catastrophe are Inspector Xyloth Zandari of the Galactic Bureau of Investigation, Dr. Vortex Vexar, a renowned xenobiologist specializing in extremophiles. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Felix. I only wish we were meeting under less tragic circumstances.
Indeed, Felix. My hearts go out to the victims and their families.
Professor Cosmos, before we delve into the details of the attack, can you give us some historical context on past LBO attacks and extremist threats?
Felix, the specter of LBOs and extremist threats has cast a long shadow over the annals of galactic history. The attack on the Celestial Serenity may be unprecedented in scale, but the seeds of such calamity were sown long ago. Picture, if you will, the year 2789. The lunar outpost of Titan's Respite, a beacon of scientific research and peaceful cooperation, suddenly plunged into chaos as an LBO detonates, claiming 23 lives and forever shattering the illusion of safety in the void. The images of the wounded and the fallen, broadcast across the galaxy, serve as a chilling reminder that even the most isolated corners of space are not immune to the reach of terror. And then, in 2842, The Null Collective, a ragtag band of nihilistic extremists, nearly succeeded in an audacious plot to detonate an LBO at the bustling Zephyrus starport. Imagine, if you will, the thousands of unsuspecting travelers, their hearts filled with the promise of new horizons and cosmic wonders, suddenly facing the unthinkable as the seconds tick down to oblivion. But fate, it seems, had other plans. A sharp-eyed security officer, her instincts honed by years of training, spots the telltale signs of the impending attack. With mere moments to spare, she and her team leap into action, employing a daring gambit to lure the LBO away from the innocent crowds with a hastily jury-rigged magnetic field generator. The seconds stretch into eternity as the deadly organism is pulled inexorably toward the waiting maw of a nearby black hole, the very fabric of space-time warping and buckling under the titanic forces at play. And then, in a blinding flash of light and a burst of Hawking radiation, the LBO vanishes, swallowed whole by the insatiable gravitational appetite of the black hole. The crisis averted, but the scars left on the galactic psyche would linger for generations. And so, Felix, we find ourselves here in the aftermath of yet another tragedy born of hatred and extremism. The names and faces may change, but the pain, the loss, and the ever-present specter of fear remain constant companions on our journey through the stars. It falls to us, the survivors, the witnesses, the storytellers, to ensure that the lessons of the past are not forgotten, and that the sacrifices of the fallen are not in vain. For it is only through vigilance, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to the ideals of peace and unity that we may hope to navigate the uncertain cosmic tides and steer a course toward a brighter tomorrow.
Thank you, Professor Cosmos, for that harrowing yet ultimately hopeful journey through the annals of galactic history. Your words serve as a poignant reminder of the fragility of peace and the indomitable resilience of the galactic spirit in the face of unthinkable adversity. Doctor, as a xenobiologist, can you shed some light on what exactly a living bomb organism is and how it could have caused such devastation?
Living bomb organisms, or LBOs, are genetically engineered extremophiles designed to withstand the harsh conditions of space travel. Once they reach their target destination, they rapidly metabolize a specific trigger compound, causing a catastrophic explosion. The devastation we witnessed on the Celestial Serenity is a grim testament to their effectiveness and the urgent need for responsible oversight of emerging biotechnologies.
That's truly terrifying, Dr. Vexar. But how could such a dangerous organism have made it past the Starliner's security measures?
That's the million-credit question, Felix. Our investigation has revealed a complex web of bribes, blackmail, and insider threats that allowed the LBO to slip through the cracks. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is a massive spaceship and the needle is a microscopic murder machine.
A disturbing analogy, Inspector Zandari. How are survivors and first responders coping in the aftermath of this tragedy?
The psychological impact has been immense, Felix. Many survivors are grappling with survivor's guilt, post-traumatic stress, and overwhelming grief. First responders, too, are struggling with the enormity of what they witnessed. The Galactic Mental Health Alliance has dispatched crisis counselors to provide support, but the road to healing will be longer than a Mobius strip.
Inspector Zandari, Dr. Vexar, in the wake of such a heinous act, the question on everyone's mind is, how will these perpetrators be brought to justice, and what steps are being taken to prevent similar tragedies in the future?
Felix, I can assure you that the Galactic Bureau of Investigation is working tirelessly to track down those responsible for this atrocity. We've assembled a task force of our best agents, and we won't rest until the Voidwalkers and their collaborators are brought to justice. But it's not just about punishment, it's about prevention. We're working closely with the Interstellar Transportation Safety Board to review and strengthen security protocols on all starliners and spaceports.
And from a scientific perspective, we must redouble our efforts to develop better detection methods for LBOs and other biothreats. My team at the Xenobiological Research Institute is already working on a new generation of bioscanners that can identify these organisms at a molecular level. But we must also address the root causes of extremism, the social, economic, and psychological factors that drive individuals to such despicable acts.
You raise an excellent point, Dr. Vexar. This tragedy underscores the need for a comprehensive approach to galactic security, one that encompasses not just law enforcement and technological solutions, but also education, outreach, and support for those on the margins of society.
Absolutely, Felix. We cannot afford to let fear and division take root in our communities. It's up to all of us, law enforcement, scientists, politicians, and ordinary citizens, to work together to build a safer, more just, and more compassionate galaxy.
Well said, Inspector Zandari. And to our listeners, I say this. In the face of such darkness, it's easy to feel helpless or afraid. But let us draw strength from the bonds of compassion and unity that hold our galactic community together. Let us honor the memory of those lost by rededicating ourselves to the ideals of peace, understanding, and resilience. And now, let us take a moment to hear from some of those directly affected by this tragedy, the survivors, the loved ones, and the everyday heroes who have shown such extraordinary courage in the face of unimaginable adversity. Zara Kwan, whose partner Xander was one of the victims of the attack, writes, "Xander was the light of my life, the star that guided me through the darkest reaches of the universe. He had a laugh that could make a black hole smile and a heart as big as a supernova. He was on the celestial Serenity to surprise me for our 10th anniversary. Now I'll never see his smile again, never feel his tentacles wrapped around me in a warm embrace. But I know he would want us to keep exploring, to keep reaching for the stars, because that's the only way to ensure that his light and the light of all those lost will never be extinguished." Zara, I am so deeply sorry for your loss. And to all those who lost loved ones in this tragedy, please know that the thoughts and tentacles of the entire galaxy are with you during this difficult time. We've also been receiving an outpouring of messages from listeners across the galaxy expressing their shock, grief, and solidarity. With your permission, I'd like to share a few more of their words. As a survivor of the Null Collective's failed attack in 2842, my heart breaks for the victims of the celestial Serenity. But I also know the incredible resilience of our galactic community. Together, we will heal, and together, we will build a safer universe for all. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally develop a foolproof LBO detector that doesn't mistake a space burrito for a bioweapon. And this from Kal-El of Andromeda Prime. In the face of such darkness, it's easy to feel hopeless. But let us remember that the light of compassion and unity will always be stronger than the shadows of hatred and fear. May the stars guide us forward, and may the memories of those lost shine eternally bright. Also, can someone please tell the Voidwalkers that their name sounds like a bad techno band from the 90s? I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this segment, Space Cadets. Thank you, Inspector Zandari, Dr. Vexar, and Professor Cosmos for your expertise, your empathy, and your unwavering commitment to truth and healing. And thank you to all our listeners for your messages of solidarity and strength. Before we go, let us take a moment of silence to honor the memory of those lost in this tragic attack. In the face of such darkness, let us recommit ourselves to building a galaxy of peace, justice, and unity. If you're struggling in the wake of this tragedy, please know that you are not alone. Reach out to the Galactic Mental Health Alliance or visit their subspace site for resources and support. Remember, even in the darkest of times, there's always a glimmer of starlight to guide us home. Stay tuned, Space Cadets. We'll be right back with our final segment, where we'll be checking in with our astrometeorologist extraordinaire, Comet Channing, for a cosmic weather update that's sure to blow you out of the stratosphere. Will the solar flares on Proxima Centauri b finally subside, or will the ion storms on Kepler 442b continue to wreak havoc on your morning commute? Find out after this short break.
Attention all single aliens and humans in the galaxy. Are you tired of swiping through endless profiles on intergalactic dating apps, only to end up on a date with a sentient blob of goo? Well, look no further than Cosmic Cupid's matchmaking service.
I was skeptical at first, but after filling out their 500-question personality quiz and providing a DNA sample, I was matched with the love of my life. A gorgeous, three-headed, six-armed alien from the Zorgon system. Our first date was a dream. We went supernova gazing and shared a romantic dinner of asteroid-roasted space slugs. Thanks to Cosmic Cupid, I'm now happily married and living on a beautiful planet with our 42 hybrid children. And the best part? Cosmic Cupid offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you're not completely in love within 3 parsecs, they'll refund your credits and set you up with a new match.
So why waste another galactic cycle searching for love in all the wrong nebulae? Trust Cosmic Cupid's matchmaking service, because sometimes love is just a wormhole away.
Well, Space Cadets, as we rocket towards the end of our cosmic journey today, it's time to check in with our resident astrometeorologist and the galaxy's grooviest weatherwoman, Comet Channing, for a space weather update that's sure to make your solar flares sizzle and your nebula noodle. Comet, are you ready to take us on a wild ride through the cosmic conditions?
You know it, Felix. I've got a forecast that's hotter than a supernova and cooler than a frozen comet. Remember, Space Cadets, when it comes to space weather, always expect the unexpected. Now strap in and get ready for a meteor shower of space weather wonders.
All right, Comet, let's start with our listeners' favorite vacation spot, the tropical paradise of Kepler 442b. What kind of weather can our interstellar beach babes expect?
Well, Felix, if you're looking to catch some cosmic rays on Kepler 442b, you might want to pack a quantum umbrella. The solar flares from its parent star are so intense, they'd make a sunburn feel like a gentle tickle. But don't worry. With the new and improved Cosmic Coppertone 5000, you can enjoy the plasma waves without fear of getting fried. Just slather on this revolutionary solar radiation shield, and you'll be ready to soak up those cosmic rays like a pro.
Wow, Comet, that sounds like a must-have for any interstellar beach vacation. I bet our listeners are rushing to get their tentacles on the Cosmic Coppertone 5000 as we speak. But let's move on to our next space weather wonder. We've got a question from Luna in the Andromeda Galaxy about the diamond rain on Neptune. What's the deal with that?
Oh, Luna, you're in for a treat. Neptune's diamond rain is like a cosmic diva's dream come true. The pressure and temperature conditions in Neptune's atmosphere are so extreme that methane molecules get compressed into diamonds, which then fall through the layers like a glittery precipitation. It's like the universe's way of saying, you can have your bling and precipitate it too. And remember, Space Cadets, when it comes to space weather, always expect the unexpected.
That's absolutely brilliant, Comet. I bet the universe has a killer sense of style. And speaking of killer, let's talk about the weather on Venus. I heard it's a bit of a scorcher.
Felix, honey, Venus is like a sauna wrapped in an oven, roasted in a volcano, and served with a side of lava. The surface temperature is a sizzling 900 degrees Fahrenheit, and the atmospheric pressure is like having 1,000 elephants sitting on your chest. It's the perfect place to work on your tan, if you're made of tungsten. But fear not, Space Cadets, because with the new Venusian Chill Vest, you can explore the sweltering surface of Venus in style and comfort. This state-of-the-art cooling system uses advanced cryogenic technology to keep you cool as a cosmic cucumber, even in the hottest of hotspots.
Comet, you never cease to amaze me with your out-of-this-world product endorsements. I have a feeling our listeners are going to be clamoring for the Venusian Chill Vest before their next interplanetary excursion. But before we go, it's time for our space weather word of the fortnight. What have you got for us this time?
The space weather word is cosmic cocktail. It's the term for the swirling, churning mix of charged particles, magnetic fields, and cosmic rays that make up the intergalactic medium. It's like the universe's version of a wild night out, with plasma partying it up and solar winds stirring the cosmic brew. And remember, Space Cadets, when it comes to space weather, always expect the unexpected.
Ha ha ha! Cosmic cocktail, I love it. It's like the galaxy's version of a giant space margarita, but with more kick and less salt.
Exactly, Felix. And before we blast off, we've got a hilarious listener story from Zorp on planet Zephyria. Zorp writes, I was out for a leisurely hover stroll on the surface of Zephyria, when suddenly, a plasma tornado swept me up and spun me around like a cosmic top. I was tossed around like a rag doll for what felt like hours. But when I finally landed, I discovered I had only been gone for 5 minutes. Talk about a wild ride.
Wow, Zorp, that's one space weather story for the ages. I guess you could say you were Zorp-edoed by the plasma tornado.
Good one, Felix. And that's a wrap for our space weather update. Remember, space cadets, whether you're dodging cosmic cocktails or surfing the plasma waves, always pack your sense of humor, your Cosmic Coppertone 5000, and your Venusian chill vest. And never forget, when it comes to space weather, always expect the unexpected. Back to you, Felix.
Thanks, Comet, for that whirlwind tour of the universe's wackiest weather and your stellar product endorsements. And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on this wild ride through the cosmos. Until next time, keep your asteroid belts tight and your jetpacks fueled, because you never know what kind of space weather you'll encounter out there in the final frontier. And as always, remember, in space, no one can hear you scream with laughter at our cosmic puns. This is Felix Andromeda, signing off until our next intergalactic adventure. May the solar winds be at your back, the cosmic rays light your way, and the space weather always keep you on your toes.